What sucks about being your age? I'm 21, I have hooded eyes, so I raise my eyebrows to be able to see and also look less angry. I didn't think the constant eyebrow raise would give me wrinkles for whatever reason, so now I have a deep wrinkle on my forehead that sucks all my foundation in and creases so it's more visible. No matter how little I use or how diluted it is or how primed my skin is. Then I have acne too, and a lot of redness in my face, so if I wear foundation or concealer to cover that redness, I'm stuck embracing my wrinkle or smoothing my makeup every 5 minutes so my skin matches all over. It's a hassle. Paired with dark eye bags from insomnia and masculine features, genetics did not do me well as a woman. For me it's less feeling like shit, and realizing just how young so many celebrities are. It's even trippier thinking of celebrities that seemed old when I was a kid, and realizing they were in my general age range at the time, or in a lot of cases, they were a fair amount younger. I'm 27. It's also hitting the point where people in their 40s ping is definitely older than me, yeah, but we're not that far off. 50s and 60s ping as my parents' age and 70 plus ping as my grandparents' age. So for a lot of the celebrities from when I was a kid, it's really more like them, they're not that much older than me in reality. Here's what makes me feel better. Those people that become successful and seem to have their shit together, they don't. Almost anyone can make themselves sound successful if they fake it till they make it and leave out the bad stuff. I know an aerospace engineer that makes over $150,000 a year. But you know what? He works 60-70 hours a week and can't hold on to a relationship due to that time commitment. Knew someone who worked at Coors Brewery making $45 an hour. But guess what? They spent every day of work in absolute fear of dying in a factory accident. I myself could be considered a successful academic, but the pressure of my job consistently provides me mental breakdowns. I'm in a shit ton of debt, and I won't be guaranteed a lifelong position for another 15 years. No one our age has it figured out. I think the idea that we do, or that we're supposed to, is an outdated artifact of a time when you could own a house, have a family, and enter a lifelong career by 25-30. That's simply not doable anymore. Success in this age isn't making a lot of money or getting your dream job. It's simply finding a way to survive in a world that actively tries to put you down. Am I the only late 30s person who isn't completely falling apart? Like, I don't feel as spry as when I was 23 but don't have all these random pains and issues. All these threads always have stories from relatively young people who have a whole list of problems. I'm definitely thankful, but I guess I'm trying to say it isn't that bad for everyone. Looks right. All of the people I know at university indeed live at home, or have their parents pay for a needlessly fancy apartment for them to host parties. They go back the weekend to do laundries. Look straight in the mirror. Well, I indeed live on my own, with my partner coming whenever he can. We'd be living together full-time if we weren't from different nationalities. Marriage, however, is unaffordable for me. And oh boy, the family conflicts. Looks left. My stepbrother is indeed in prison, and will be for a dozen more years, I think. Accuracy 150. Knowing my life is more than half over. Looking back at years that I squandered thinking there's always time. I stayed with a woman I shouldn't have. Boom. 7 years gone. After the divorce I drank away a few years. Fucked my career up a bit. Stalled it, and now, at 50 I'm struggling again while my friends are talking early retirement. I keep telling myself, I have 3 wonderful kids. I got remarried to a woman who stuck by me getting sober. I'm doing what I love. But it haunts me. I feel like I'm just going to tread water until something kills me eventually. Young people here, don't waste your time. Life is short. I'm 29 and the younger people at my work, the people that are in their late teens and early 20s, all think that I'm one of them. But then I do correct them and tell them how old I am, and they just have a look of shock and confusion for the fact that not only am I a decade older than a lot of them, but I know how to speak their young people language and I also don't look that old. It's a gift and a curse because people in their 30s don't consider you one of their peers because you look young and you speak young but then the younger people are confused by why you are so old but you seem to be impersonating them. Honestly, I mostly love this. I feel like I can get away with hijinks. Also, now that I'm frumpier and grayer, it's almost like I have hot person privilege again, but different. For example, when I was 19 and swore, it was cute and funny because I was a hot chick. When I was 35 and swore, it was rude and kind of sad. Now that I'm mumbled years old, it's starting to be cute and funny again. I just turned 40 and feel like life has gotten weird. I'm old, but not old. My kids have grown and gone, but most of my peers have toddlers, school-age children. Body is starting to break down some, and I feel like I have to face my own mortality and forget making new friends at this point. It's just a weird time. Also, kinda sucks. All of my peers are becoming more conservative while I become more progressive. So, that blows a lot. Also, kinda sucks. All of my peers are becoming more conservative while I become more progressive. So, that blows a lot. I remember people always saying I'd get more conservative as I got older, but damn were they wrong. The more I learn and experience, the more irritated I get with how our tax money is spent, how our laws allow wealth to be distributed, and how people are allowed to treat one another. My ass went from Fox News in high school to advocating socialized healthcare and heavier corporate taxes in my 30s. It makes living in a red state both entertaining and exasperating. My boyfriend turned 30 this year, and I'll tell you what I told him. When you're 29, you're at the end of a decade. You're a 20s senior citizen. But when you're 30, you're at the start of a decade. You're a baby. You're no longer in your late. You're now in your early. Ha ha ha. I hope this isn't too much of a head scratcher. He said it helped, in a weird way, and now that he's 30, he actually feels younger. Just turned 30. Everyone keeps saying, it's all downhill from here, but I disagree. Maybe because they're all having kids and no longer have the freedoms they had in their 20s. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm still far from the ceiling in my career, and I have tons of achievable goals that I'm working towards. I am right in the middle of the responsible adult years, a long ways from the carefree days of youth, and a long ways from retirement. I'm a little burned out on work right now. I love my job, but it's been an intense year, and desperately long for some extended time off to just fart around and do my own thing. Also, at this age I'm not old, but I'm definitely not getting any younger. I'm now at the age by which important life decisions largely should have been made. I've made most of them, but not all. I have bills to pay and I'm self-supporting, so taking time off or leaving my job is not a viable option unless I win the lottery or something. But I still long for long slow days without all the rush. When you're a teen you get the responsibilities an adult gets but not the freedom. You can't have or say some things because you're too old for that, but you can't like adult things. Replying or standing up for yourself is considered having an attitude, but younger kids can do that because they don't understand and adults are only defending themselves. 23 here. 20s are the best years of my life. Yeah. Okay, then why do I constantly feel like there are so many expectations and things that have to be done? College classes, still need a job, I definitely gotta learn to drive cause I never did learn as a teen, housework, homework, how to be a good girlfriend, daughter, sister. The list never ends. Limited freedom and still treated like we're extremely immature. Too little time to relax due to all the homework we have to do on top of school. Constant stress about whether we'll be able to get the next bit of homework in on time whilst attending a bunch of programs to help us get into university, make university life easier. Most of the people that I have known are dead. I was talking to a good high school friend and we both were going to call another friend when we were done. About a 90-minute call. 5 minutes after we hung up he called back to tell me that our friend had died whilst we were talking about calling him. Oh, I am 75. Being retired. The two things that really suck are watching good friends pass away yearly, having to push through the aches and pains of old age to do the things you enjoy. But I realize that I'm luckier than many of my friends who have had hip, knee or shoulder replacements or open heart surgery. Almost 54. Used to be in amazing shape. It's harder to maintain. I'm always tired. Also, as a woman, I am invisible. I am not seen nor heard. I work in a really stressful consulting role and most of my coworkers are young men. I have to fight daily to be heard. That said, there's a ton of benefits too. I simply do not care what people think of me. It's very liberating. Well, I'm young enough that I'm not considered an adult, meaning older people automatically assume I'm on my phone all day and I'm completely unproductive. However, I think it's entirely untrue, and basically everyone assumes because I'm in between the 13-24 range that I'm like one of those stupid TikTok people. I hate them too. Not a hell of a lot to be honest. I'm 58, I've had my health issues. 2 different kinds of cancer, diabetes, but they're both in remission and my blood sugars are well controlled. I'm retired and living comfortably, with plenty of time for my hobbies, music, photography, reading, writing, motorcycling. Never had kids of my own, but I got to watch my nieces and nephews grow up, which was pretty awesome. Seeing someone grow from a mewling infant to a wide-eyed toddler, curious kid filled with wonder at discovering the world around them, angsty teenager and finally into a competent adult now having children of their own. That was definitely cool. Being as old as I am has given me perspective on things. Overall, my life has been pretty sweet. Sure, cancer sucked, the treatment was even worse, and someone tried to murder me once, but hey, they failed and here I am, still laughing at it all. I'm really happy to see that the next generation has developed into better people than we ever were, more aware, more compassionate and more understanding of others and their differences. Despite all the shit that still goes on in the world, I'm optimistic for the future. I'm 73. I'm getting smaller, spottier, not quite as steady on my feet secondary to spinal issues. I'm not as involved in politics and the state of the world. I don't care anymore, or rather, I do care, but I've no more energy to expend on political idiocies. Paying my bill, taxes and the roof over my head seems enough. I'm loving my children, I'm grateful for them, that they've always been my friends and supported me as I and their dad, now deceased, supported them. I'm pulling back into myself. Best of luck, humankind. It's been great if scary at times. I'm not really a kid, but I'm not really an adult. Every day it feels less and less as though real adults have any clue at all what the fuck they're doing. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm having trouble finding friends my age because they're either so irresponsible that I feel like I'm taking care of them, or they're so responsible that it feels like they're taking care of me. Everything is this weird in between that will only really pass with time, it seems. This will probably just get buried, so I'll just let this be a therapeutic comment, unless you already have some. It's hard to make friends at 33. You're not involved in social activities by default, school, and people at that age typically are too busy with life stuff to have time to socialize with someone new. So I have to go very far out of my way, and risk a lot of disappointment, and hope that my niche interests have some easy-to-find community that happens to be within reasonable distance. On top of that is the expectation to be independent at my age. For some reason, saying I'm lonely and would be happier with friends, a spouse makes me codependent, and potential new friends being turned off by my not having current friends. He must have no friends for a reason. Surely, meeting new people is just hard. I'm just a few days away from 19, and for people my age, society always assumes you're a disrespectful, marijuana smoking, reckless punk. You're always told to respect everyone around you, even though they couldn't care less about you cause you're always the bad guy. You're too young for something fun, but you're also too old for stuff, too. Or at least, that's what people tell you. It's hard to prove yourself to people around you because they always lower their expectations when they learn your age. Lots of terrible stereotypes surround us. I'm 38, but with a baby face and smooth skin. Thank you, ancestors from Hungary, Ireland and Italy. Younger women get awkward when they see my age on dating sites. Women my age tell me they don't go for much younger guys, and much older women, like 20 years or more, look at me like I'm in the movie The Graduate. I just have a soft, brown face. I'm not what anybody wants. Everyone is getting engaged, pregnant. I am truly so happy for everyone I see announcing their amazing news, but as a single 29-year-old with no children, it's daunting. Will there be anyone left for me? Do I have enough time to meet someone, enjoy, build a life with them, and then have kids? Why has no one ever proposed to me before? Can I even get pregnant? LOL. As others have said, everyone assumes you should know how to be an adult. Many people around me have become successful adults, whatever that means. And here I am, still enjoying my adolescence. Young adult hobbies. What sucks is that sometimes you're judged for it. Aren't you a little old for Rex? Knowing that I'm going to inherit a shitty economy, have to deal with things like cancel culture all while getting shit from soon-to-be buried boomers and lazy fucking millennials who did more to fuck the place up than we ever will. Oh yeah, and getting lumped in with the TikTok people. Fuck them too. Everything I have done has gotten me where I am and what I have. I just wonder what could have been if I hadn't let the good ones go for a loser who needed me, took that other job that was offered, etc. No regrets, just wonder ... What if? I'm single and at a huge crossroad in my life. I'm searching for direction. I don't think I was ever this lost when I was in my 20s and 30s. I just turned 65. There's not much excitement having turned 29 just recently. I left my friends a while back so had no real social group to celebrate with, plus my roommate gave me COVID which resulted in less excitement come the day. Life's in an absolute limbo until at least COVID restrictions clear. Just be certain of the people you choose to spend your time with. The random body aches from the bad things I did to myself in my younger years. At 46. I have carpal tunnel, arthritis, have had my gallbladder removed, and it sucks. I was also diagnosed with sleep apnea, and heart palpitations. Not quite SVT, but real close. Also, I'm old enough to know better, and old enough that my field of fucks is not just barren, but the field was burned and the earth salted. So, sometimes, the unvarnished opinions come out, and everyone gets mad, and I don't fucking care. 42. Everything creaks when you sit down. Having enough years behind you to really dwell on how many of them are wasted. Being old enough that everything the young people do irritates you, despite telling yourself you'd never be that person. Whenever I see the Principal Skinner "no, surely it's the children who are wrong" meme, I'm like, yeah, but sometimes they really are. It'll happen to you. I'm 28. It's an awkward age to be because I feel too young and too old at the same time. Too young to experience all the world really has to offer since I'm still kind of starting out in the working world and don't have a ton saved up, but also too old to be at the stage of who am I and where is my life going. You can say 28 is still very young, and I agree. But I feel like I wasted the last 10 years holding on to adolescence and now I'm just getting a foot in the adult world since moving out of my parents' house. It's like, okay, I'm finally done acting like a teenager, but now I want to experience what typical girls aged 18-22 experienced, going out with friends, dating, etc., because I was set in my ways being a loner and clingy to one guy. So, I feel like I lost my chance there. I kind of don't know where to go from here. I'm a single 61/F. Look younger, take no medications. I only have one son who is a very successful cardiac specialist. I've taken good care of myself, work full-time and stay active. Men in my economic age group are mostly retired and only interested in women half my age. Younger men, 45 plus, dangerously close to my son's age, are the only ones who are interested in me. But they have adult children still living at home playing video games and only working enough to keep gas in their cars. I need this like I need a third boob. I'm probably going to die alone.